both had killed as an act of vengeance.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are stepping into the ring for a heavyweight showdown today. We're calling this a special Rearview Cinema edition of the Deep Dive.
Oh, I like that.
The topic. A film that, sits at the very top of cinema history, The Godfather Part II. Now, usually, this is where I'm supposed to hype it up as the greatest masterpiece ever made. But I'm going to be honest with you, and with our expert here, I have a bone to pick with this movie.
Bone to pick with The Godfather Part II.
Wow.
That is a bold opening statement.
Oh, very well.
I mean, most critics, including myself, would argue it's the rare instance where the sequel actually surpasses the original. It's structurally perfect.
See, that's the intellectual take. And I get it. I really do. But my heart is with the first Godfather. Part I has warmth. It has this romance to it.
It does.
You have Brando, the wedding, that whole sense of loyalty. Even the crime feels honorable. I don't know. But Part II, it's 3.5 hours of watching a man's soul slowly freeze to death. It's exhausting. It's miserable. Can a movie really be perfect if it leaves you feeling that cold and hollow by the end?
That is exactly why it's perfect.
Oh, come on.
No, seriously. You're reacting to the tragedy, which means the film did its job. The Godfather Part I is a myth. It's the romanticized version of the American dream. Part II is the deconstruction. It's the hangover after the party.
Oh.
And today, we're going to look at why it feels that way. We're using a brilliant analysis by film critic Lee Dong-jin, who just breaks down the architecture of this tragedy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to convince you that the misery you feel is actually the result of some of the most sophisticated storytelling in film history.
All right, I'm listening. I'm ready to be convinced or, at least understand why I feel so terrible every time the credits roll. Let's start with the big picture. This isn't just a sequel, right? It's doing something very weird with time.
It is. Lee Dong-jin emphasizes this right off the bat. The Godfather Part II is technically a sequel and prequel at the same time.
Right.
We are jumping back and forth between two timelines. You've got the early 20th century, like 1901 to 1920, following the rise of young Vito Corleone. And then you have the late 1950s, following the reign and the moral decline of his son, Michael.
It's such a unique structure. I can't think of many other movies that try to tell two origin stories at once like that.
Think of it as a sandwich. And I love this analogy because it explains your emotional reaction. The Godfather part, the movie you love, is essentially the meat inside this sandwich.
Okay.
Part II surrounds it. We see what happened before and we see what happened after.
But it's not just about filling in the blanks, is it? It feels more manipulative than that, because every time the Michael timeline gets too depressing, courts, betrayals, shouting matches, the movie cuts back to Vito.
Yes.
And suddenly the lighting changes, it's all golden, it's nostalgic.
That is the trap. Coppola uses the prequel sections as a refuge for the audience, just like Michael uses his memories. When the pressure of the 1950s gets too high, we retreat to the past. But notice the contrast Lee highlights. Both men are roughly the same age in these timelines, in their 30s.
Right, both fathers, both consolidating power.
But their trajectories are violently opposite.
Right. Vito is an arrow pointing up. He's an immigrant, he has nothing, but he's building, he's gaining warmth, he's gathering friends, he's becoming part of a community. Even when he's committing crimes, it feels like he's doing it for us.
Whereas Michael is an arrow pointing down. He starts with everything. Money, power, politicians in his pocket. But he is stripping things away. He's isolating himself.
She's destroying connections.
And the cinematography reinforces this. Vito's world is amber, soft focus, handheld cameras. Michael's world is static, sharp, cold blue and gray. The structure forces you to compare them constantly. You can't just watch Michael be cold. You have to watch him be cold immediately after seeing how warm his father was.
It's emotional whiplash. So let's talk about that warm father figure. Robert De Niro plays young Vito. And this is the part of the movie I actually enjoy. It feels like a classic underdog story.
It is, effectively.
Yeah.
But we have to be careful not to romanticize it too much, which, the movie tricks us into doing. The pivotal moment for Vito, the moment he truly becomes the Godfather, is a murder.
The assassination of Don Fanucci.
Right.
But even that is framed like a superhero origin story. You have Fanucci, the Black Hand. He's a bully. He's extorting the neighborhood. He demands tribute from Vito and his friends. In any other movie, Vito would call the cops. But this is Little Italy in 1917.
Exactly. Lee Dong-jin points out the context is crucial here. There's no trust in the police. The state doesn't protect these immigrants. It exploits them. So when Fanucci demands $200 and Vito's friends are panicking, Vito sees an opportunity.
He negotiates.
He does. He tells his friends, I'll handle it. Just give me $100. He pockets the difference and decides to solve the problem permanently.
This is one of the most famous sequences in the film, the rooftop stalking scene. And reading through Lee's analysis, I was surprised by how much technical screen direction plays a role here. I mean, I noticed the scene was tense, but I didn't realize there was a geometry to it.
It's subconscious, but it's so powerful. Let's break down screen direction. In Western culture, how do we read text?
Left to right.
Correct. So our brains process left to right movement as natural, comfortable, or, forward progress. Conversely, movement from right to left creates tension.
It feels like you're going against the current.
Exactly. It signals conflict or unease.
Okay, so I'm guessing Coppola uses this to mess with us.
Oh, beautifully. Picture the scene. There's a massive religious festival on the street. It's chaotic, loud, huge crowds. Finucci, the target, is walking through the crowd, and he is moving right to left.
Against the grain.
He's cutting against the grain. Even if you don't know film theory, your brain looks at him and thinks, this guy's an obstacle. He's wrong.
And Vito.
Vito is on the rooftops tracking him. And Vito is moving left to right. He's flowing with a natural order. He looks like destiny. He looks like the solution. He's moving parallel to the procession, stalking his prey. And the sound design is just incredible. The swelling music of the festival masking his footsteps.
And then the descent. I always loved that shot where he goes down the stairs.
It's hugely symbolic. Vito unscrews the light bulb to make the hallway dark. Then he physically descends the stairs, going down into the shadows. He is descending into the underworld. He shoots Finucci, brutally, mind you, once in the chest, once in the cheek, once in the mouth. It's a gruesome murder.
But, and this is why I argue for the warmth of this timeline, what happens right after. He doesn't run. He doesn't go count his money.
He goes back to the stoop of his apartment building.
He sits down and he picks up his baby Michael. He tells him, Michael, your father loves you very much. It's framed so tenderly.
That is the genius of the contrast. Vito kills for the family. He kills to remove a parasite from the community. In the scenes after this, we see him helping a widow keep her apartment. We see him refusing payment from a fruit vendor.
The community embraces him.
They do, because he offers protection in a lawless world. He is a murderer, yes, but the film frames him as a benevolent king and necessary evil.
Which is such a massive contrast to Michael. Michael isn't helping widows. Michael is shutting doors.
And that brings us to the tragedy of the son. If Vito's story is about the birth of a family, Michael's is about the preservation of an empire. And the philosophy that guides Michael is summed up in that one famous line. You know the one.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
It sounds cool. It sounds like Sun Tzu. People quote it like it's great business advice. But Lee Dong-jin argues that this specific philosophy is the cancer that kills Michael Corleone.
I've never thought of it as a bad strategy. It seems smart. You want to know what your enemies are doing.
But think about the logistics of it. If you keep your enemies closer than your friends, who is standing next to you?
Well, your enemies.
Precisely. To keep an enemy close, you have to push your friends to the perimeter. You have to invite the wolf into the house to keep an eye on him. Michael spends all his time courting Hyman Roth, the man trying to kill him. And in the process, he alienates the people who actually love him.
He pushes away Frank Pentangeli.
He pushes away his wife, Kay. He pushes away Tom Hagen.
Pentangeli is such a great example of this. He's this old school, loud, pasta-eating gangster.
Yeah.
He's messy. He's basically Vito's era personified. And Michael hates it. Michael wants to be a smooth corporate CEO.
Michael sees the mafia as a corporation. Vito saw it as a family. That is the fundamental disconnect. Michael treats people like assets on a balance sheet. There's a terrifying moment in Cuba that illustrates this perfectly. It's New Year's Eve. They are at a party, slicing up a cake that has the map of Cuba on it.
Literally carving up the country.
Literally.
Right.
And Michael has been planning to invest millions there, but he changes his mind.
Right. And why?
He does. Because earlier that day, he saw a rebel arrested by the military police. The rebel had a grenade. And instead of surrendering, the rebel pulled the pin and blew himself up along with the captain.
Most people would see that and be horrified. Or maybe, I don't know, inspired by the bravery.
Michael sees neither. He looks at that suicide and does a cold calculation. He tells Hyman Roth, the rebels are paid nothing, yet they are willing to die. Your soldiers are paid, but they won't die for the government. Therefore, the rebels will win. It's pure math.
Wow.
He doesn't care about the ideology. He just realizes it's a bad investment.
He applies that same math to his own blood. We have to talk about Fredo. This is the part that hurts the most.
It is the emotional core of the tragedy. Fredo, the older brother, weak, foolish, insecure. He betrays Michael to Hyman Roth. Not because he wants Michael dead, but because, as he screams later, he wants respect. I'm smart, not like everybody says. I wanted something for myself.
It's heartbreaking because Fredo is pathetic. He's not a mastermind. He got played. And by the end of the movie, the threat is gone. Roth is dead. The Senate hearings are over. Michael has won completely.
Yeah.
Fredo is sitting in a chair at the lake house, trembling, teaching his nephew how to fish. He is broken.
He is zero threat. But Michael cannot forgive.
He waits until their mother dies. That's the only mercy he shows. Once the mother is gone, the protection is lifted.
The visual direction of the execution scene is masterful, and Lee Dong-jin points out a detail I had never noticed before. The leaves.
The leaves.
It's autumn. The trees are bare, and the wind is blowing these dead leaves across the ground. But look at the direction. The leaves are blowing into the boathouse. They're piling up against the door where the boat is. It's like nature itself is sweeping Fredo into a trap. The wind isn't blowing toward the lake, toward freedom. It's blowing him into his coffin.
And Michael watches from the window.
That shot is vital. Michael is behind glass. He's inside, in the silence, in the dark. Fredo is outside in the wind and the chaos. Michael has separated himself from nature, from his brother, from humanity. He watches the execution of his own brother with the same face he used to evaluate the Cuban rebels. Cold. Detached.
And while he's killing his brother, his marriage is just detonating. Kay, this is the only person who actually beats Michael, isn't it?
In a way, yes. Michael thinks he can control everything. He can buy senators, he can kill mob bosses, but he cannot control Kay. And the way she defeats him is devastating.
The abortion.
The abortion. It's brutal. For years, Michael thinks it was a miscarriage, a tragedy. But when Kay finally tells him the truth, it wasn't a miscarriage, it was an abortion.
And look at why she did it. It wasn't just that she didn't want a child, it was a political act. She realized that the only way to stop an emperor is to deny him an heir.
Yes.
By aborting their son, and she specifies it was a son, she is violently rejecting the Corleone future. She is screaming, "This madness stops with you. I will not let this bloodline continue."
And his reaction, that door slam, it echoes the end of the first movie perfectly. In part one, the door closes on Kay, shutting her out of the men's business. But she was still in the house.
Right. In part two, the door closes on her face, shutting her out of his life forever.
It is the total annihilation of family. He has executed his brother, he has driven away his wife, he has alienated his adopted brother, Tom. He's the most powerful man in America, and he is completely, utterly alone.
Which leads us to the ending. And honestly, this might be the most brilliant editing choice in history. The flashback.
Oh, it's a masterstroke.
The movie doesn't end with Michael's old, tired face. It jumps back to 1941.
We are suddenly back at the dining room table. The whole cast is back. James Caan as Sonny, Abe Vigoda as Tessio. It's Vito's birthday. The atmosphere is loud, chaotic, warm. It's everything we've been missing for 3 hours.
It's physically painful to watch because we know everyone's fate. We see Sonny, and we know he's going to get shot at the toll booth. We see Fredo, and we know he's going to get shot on the lake. But then the conversation starts.
This scene recontextualizes the entire character of Michael. They are talking about Pearl Harbor. The family is patriotic, but protective. And Michael drops the bomb. He has enlisted in the Marines.
He's leaving college. He is leaving the safety Vito built for him.
And everyone explodes. Sonny is furious. You're going to die for strangers. Tom is disappointed. Your father had plans for you. Michael is defying the family. He is choosing his own path.
But look at who supports him. There is exactly one person at that table who shakes his hand.
It's Fredo.
Fredo.
They're Marines, Mike. They're really good. The irony is just crushing. In the flashback, Fredo is the only one who validates Michael's choices. In the present, Michael has just had him killed.
That hits so hard. Michael is sitting alone in the dark, remembering the one moment where that brother was his only ally.
But there's a deeper question here that Lee Dong-jin poses. Does this flashback show us how much Michael has changed? Or does it show us that he hasn't changed at all?
Wait, how could he not have changed? He's an innocent college kid in the flashback.
He looks innocent. But look at his behavior. He makes a decision without consulting anyone. He defies his father's wishes. He operates entirely on his own internal moral code. I have my own plans for my future, he says. He is stubborn. He is separate.
And the staging. At the end of the scene, everyone leaves the table to go surprise Vito.
Everyone gets up. Sonny, Tom, Fredo,
Yeah.
They all go into the other room to sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow,
Well,
and Michael.
he stays at the table, alone, smoking a cigarette.
So you're saying the isolation wasn't an accident, it was his nature.
Exactly. The tragedy isn't just that the mafia corrupted him. The tragedy is that Michael was always destined to be alone. He never really belonged to that warm, chaotic Vito Corleone world. He was always cold. He was always calculating. The power just gave him the means to express it.
God, that is bleak.
It is. The final shot of the film is Michael, years later, sitting on a park bench in the autumn of his life. He has won. He has the money, the security, the empire. But the silence is deafening.
It really makes you realize why this debate exists. You started this saying Part 2 is heartbreaking and cold, and you wanted the warmth of Part 1.
And I still do. But I think I understand now. The movie knows I want that warmth. It gives me glimpses of it in the flashbacks just to twist the knife deeper.
It creates a hunger in the audience. You crave the connection that Michael destroys. It uses your own nostalgia against you.
So the verdict.
The Godfather Part 1 is a great story. The Godfather Part 2 is a great tragedy. It shows us the cost. You can't have the power of a god without losing the humanity of a man.
And that sandwich structure, it really is the only way to tell that story. You have to see the rise to understand the fall. You have to see the father holding the baby to understand the brother killing the brother.
It's the contrast that kills you.
Well, you've convinced me of the genius, even if I still think I'll need a stiff drink to get through a rewatch.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a popcorn movie. It's a stare at the wall for 20 minutes afterwards movie.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave the listener with one final image to chew on. When Michael is sitting there at the very end, staring into the distance, totally alone. Do you think he regrets it? Or does he think it was all necessary?
That is the ultimate question. Is he remembering the warmth he lost? Or is he realizing that he never really felt it in the first place?
A mystery for the ages. All right, we've covered the sandwich structure, the geometry of the Finucci hit, the trap of keeping enemies close, and the devastation of the Corleone family.
A heavy episode for a heavy film.
Indeed. To sum it all up, if we had to distill this entire 3.5-hour epic into one sentence, I think we have the perfect line.
I think we do.
The father built a family.
And the son erased the family to build an empire.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the dark. We'll see you in the next one.
Keep your friends close.